What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to do a trade breakdown of a trade that I took yesterday where I made $400 on a bottom reversal setup on the S&P 500 futures using order flow, book map, and just simple technical analysis. So I'm going to be covering everything step by step. So follow along and let's dive right in. So to start off right, as you guys could see, yesterday made $400. Monday had a break-even day. This obviously is my top set account. It does say 3 trades here, even though it was just 1 trade, but they count each partial profit that I take as a separate trade. So this is why it says 3 trades. Okay, so that doesn't really matter. It was just 1 trade idea. It was 1 trade, and I just took partials when it was going upwards, okay, in my direction. So now that we've got this covered, let's get to the chart and actually show you my step-by-step thesis for this trade. Okay, so here you guys can see my trades. You can see my fills. It was a pretty simple trade, to be honest. All in all, you can see obviously that my TP didn't hit. My TP was at the 60s, so I took partials along the way, as you can see, with these fills, and then eventually, well, it did go, against my direction to only just sweep this low later, and then go higher, and then sweep again, and then finally go to my 60s target. So it was a bit of a wild one. The market was actually moving pretty decent, as you can see, level to level, moving very, very clean. And yes, there were more setups, after my trade, which I didn't take, which was a shame because they were all pretty textbook setups. Like this short right here was really good, and this buy right here as well. But I already made quite some gains. I made $400 just on this setup, even though I didn't hit my full target. So I was happy, and I just closed my computer for the day. To not potentially lose the gains that I have made, which is just a strong rule for myself that if my first trade of the day is a nice winner, then I'd rather just walk away and enjoy the profits instead of potentially losing it further down the line on maybe a bad setup. Even though I'm very patient and I choose only A+ setups only, but it could still happen that I would lose the gains that I have made previously in the trade, and then obviously I would feel pretty bad, to be honest, if I would give back the profits that I've made in this pretty decent trade. So the thesis for the trade is pretty simple. We had these M1 lows right here, equal lows, and we were in the middle of this balanced range, and I was just waiting, to be honest, for a sweep and a quick scalp. I think my mistake for this trade, to be honest, was my target was a bit too big since we were in the middle of this balanced range. We can't really expect price to go and make some pretty decent moves, because in the end I was still looking for a 16-point move, which all in all it's not massive, but being in this balanced range that we were, as I'll show you in the higher time frame in a minute, I can expect not the biggest moves. As you can see, the biggest moves are from the edges, right? From this area that I had right here, big move. From this area that I had right here, big sell-off here as well, big sell-off, and everything that's in the middle is not going to be the biggest trade. So that's why it's always good to take partials, in my personal opinion. Obviously, you could have gone for a smaller target, just like target this high, for example, which would be even less than 2R. So targeting the 60s and taking partial along the way, I still made 2R basically, so $400 as I'm risking 200 on this account. So yeah, I'm still pretty happy with this trade, to be honest, even though I didn't hit my full TP, which obviously would have been a lot better. Even with taking partial, I probably would have ended up with 3R. So yeah, pretty simple thesis. We just had this equal lows here on the M1. I was waiting for a sweep, and then obviously I go onto the book map as I see this sweep, and I want to see heavy selling, but price not really being able to go any further down, and then see heavy buying stepping in, reclaiming back above these lows, and then just see consolidation range and wait for price to return into that, wait for a retrade with weaker selling and aggressive buying, step in, stop loss below, give it some room, and then just target whatever I want to target, also depending on the book map, on the offers that I see, and the limit orders basically. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So it was very, very simple trade and a quick scalp. And I think my own mistake was maybe my target was a bit too big, but then again, I take partial, so I'm not too worried about that. So let's go on to the book map and show you guys what I was looking for. Okay, so we're starting here off at market open. You see price is very aggressive, heavy buying stepping in. We're waiting for that sweep. Sweep is happening right now. See some heavy selling. And I'll speed it up a little bit for you guys. You don't have to wait too much. And what was interesting right here is right off the bat, we see this consolidation right here, okay, with some aggressive selling and price couldn't go any further down. So we have this consolidation and then we're making a move to the upside. So immediately I was thinking, okay, we have the sweep already. We have some heavy selling, price cannot go any further. And we have some consolidation right here with heavy selling where price cannot go any further down. All I need to do now is wait for a retrace into this area, see, sort of a double bottom with weaker selling and aggressive buying. And this is where I'll decide to take the market long. Here you see some heavy selling again. That looks like it's getting absorbed. Some heavy buying stepping in as well. Also a good initial first reaction. I still wasn't in yet. Patient, even though it was a already 3-4 point move very quickly. Another drop into this area. Heavy selling, heavy selling. Price cannot go any further, staying there. Aggressive buying, stepping in. Great reaction. This could be the aggressive entry. This could have been a first entry. I didn't enter there, even though it would have given me a better risk to reward, to be honest. Now I see, buyers are confirmed. I wait for a little retrace with weaker selling. There we go. There we have it. Weaker selling. This is where I step in right here at 43.75. This is where I clicked. My stop loss obviously was below, and my full target for this trade was the 60s. As you can see, we already had some offers right here at the 54s. They're not at the 60s yet, but these offers have been going higher and being placed higher every time as I was in the trade and as the price was going up. So this is why I finally decided to target the 60s, as that gave me a pretty decent risk to reward. And it didn't go there, but so far it was at the 45s, the 54s and the 55s, and then the price will head in that direction. As you can see, the offers are just moving higher and higher and higher, and I like the 60s. It was also a round number. It was also in my resistance level, so I was like, okay, a lot of things align. I will just target the 60s, and I took partials around here at the 50s, and then I took partials right here as well at the 53s. So I was already $400 up in profit, and eventually it didn't go there, and then it went all the way down to my entry. I'll speed it up a little bit. But I have to say the offers and the bids were a little bit strange today. As you can see, all these little ones looks like they got pulled out. I'm not really sure yet what that is. I need to figure that out because it's not something I see very often. Usually I just see more kind of this offers or these kind of bids, but all these small ones is not something I'm very used to seeing. And just keep in mind, yes, I use Bookmap and it's helping me, stay profitable and stay consistent. But I'm still learning a lot about this. Okay, this whole other language to be learned and understood. And there's just so many things in here that you can spot and patterns and all these limit orders, these offers and these bids. And yeah, it's just a non-stop learning curve, to be honest. And by all means, I'm no master of it yet, for sure. I have spent a lot of screen time using the Bookmap for trading, and it has helped me a lot become profitable and stay profitable. And I have to say, I wouldn't know how to trade without it now, to be honest, because you can really see what's behind the candles, behind the market. So yeah, it's a great tool. But yeah, by all means, I'm definitely no master yet at it, even though it's helping me a lot. So you can see that price went all the way up to the 55s, which was the original offer. This offer was placed right here at the 54s, 55s, and it just went over there and then reacted from there, even though this offer has been moved to the 60s. And price obviously just took me out right here, but luckily I took partials along the way. I think another mistake, to be honest, as well, was that this level that I decided to trade from wasn't really the biggest level. It was just a quick sweep of an M1 lows. So I couldn't expect the biggest move. And from the sweep, we still saw a 10, 11 point move, which was pretty good. Obviously, my stop loss was 4 points. Maybe I could have done it with 3, but I like to give it a bit more room. But all in all, it was a very good trade. I think just my target was a bit too far, considering the whole context and the location of the market, which is something I have to keep in mind. And I just write that stuff down when I journal my trade. Just say, okay, well, we're in the middle of a balanced range, and it was just a sweep of M1 lows. It wasn't really at the edges of the balanced range, so the reaction of the trades. We cannot expect it to be the biggest, so maybe choose a closer target. Okay, and then we had a sweep later on of this, and again a massive reaction, and then it went all the way up to the resistance, and then massive drop, and then again a massive rally from the level that I had marked. So it was a very clean level to level day, to be honest. But yeah, I took this trade, took my profits, and just ran away. So, anyways, this was pretty much the trade recap of yesterday's trade. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below. Also, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, just drop me a comment and I'll get back to you. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.